Bombad.
To the Bombadcast.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy, the Cannon Junkie. And what in the world? I think there's an Eope pulling a pod racer nearby or something. Something's going on. Guys, welcome to another episode of the Bombadcast, part of the Okay, would someone get that Eope like a suppository or something? My gosh. Oh, it smells like garbage in here. Well, as I was saying, welcome to the Bombadcast, a proud member of the Beyond the Blast Doors network, where there is a show for every Star Wars fan. If you like this, you will love to check out our friends Around the Galaxy with Pete Fletzer, Postcards from the Galaxy's Edge with Shannon Warren, Holo Chronicles with Andy and Josh talking collecting, Beyond the Blast Doors Live with David Amilati, and Streaming Star Wars most Fridays with Pete and David. And then, of course, our lovely... Are you kidding me? Are you joking? I did not come down to my sweaty basement to be farted on by a space camel. We good? We're good? You tell me who brought it in here. Okay. Kidding me. Anyway, these can all be found at beyondtheblastdoors.com. And if you like the Bombadcast and the Beyond the Blast Doors network, think about supporting us on Patreon. You can support the Beyond the Blast Doors network, and every show gets a bit of that money. So you get more bang for your buck with the Beyond the Blast Doors network. And I'm going to bring in my co-host Scotty before this frickin' Eope gets out. Like, you serious? Pull him.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
Take him
hear it the whole time. Unprofessional.
Take him back to the backyard. I don't know how he got down here. I don't know. I didn't think they were actually real.
Jerry, calm down.
Apparently, George, little known fact, George actually genetically engineered the Eopes, and they're the only Star Wars animal he genetically engineered. They're all over Skywalker Ranch. So I love how you cut to me like we're going to have a little history lesson here. So there's just like a bunch of those. Oh, and he also, I'm sorry, one more. Actually. That one he's actually not in the room. That one he's actually not. That sounded like that. There was something to that. There was some substance behind that one. He's actually not in the house anymore. That's from outside. These animals have tremendous bowel strength, insane sphincter control. That is the title of this episode, Scott. It's got to be Insane Sphincter Control.
That's what you get when I watch The Mandalorian. What is up?
Insane Eope Sphincter Control. What's up, guys? What's up?
Boys and girls.
George also genetically engineered the butt cows, the shacks. That's the only other one. So that's all you see when you go on there. Those are the only animals. They produce really good milk. It's what they're full of, actually. It's all milk.
Remember the whole canon fact of the episode? That's it. We're bringing it back.
The Bombad fact of the episode. Wow. We didn't do a Bombad fact. We haven't done a Bombad fact in so freaking long.
We are old men now.
We are.
Just making sure people are still watching this. We're just gonna every time Jerry talks, it's gonna be.
We're gonna have like a warning at the beginning of this. flashing lights and stuff.
may make you sick. Jerry, I have to talk to you about something.
Well,
Jerry,
what's that? Yes.
Did you know Celebration was canceled?
What?
Yep. Not only
You're
did they cancel it,
freaking kidding me.
guess how long they're canceling it.
Shut up.
I'm not lying.
Shut up.
August.
Shut the front door.
Listen.
Shut the front door, you lint liquor.
They are canceling it till this is such a long time.
No.
Jerry,
No.
we will be on our 3-year anniversary by the time we go to Celebration. Oh. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Very, very, very optimistic of you to assume we will have a 3rd anniversary.
We will. We will.
3rd year podcast. How dare you? How dare you? I wouldn't wish that on my bitterest enemy and stuff. How dare you? How dare you wish 2 more years of this on others? This is just.
It's gonna happen. 2 more years of this little face.
Bombad 2020. There you go.
Ewok baby. Jerry, okay, hold on. I gotta say something to you. Jerry decided, folks at home, that he was gonna do the whole like, if I was a cartoon character, what cartoon character would I be? And he decided that he was
I go with the trends.
He does. And Pete did.
I like everything that is popular.
But Pete is cool and Pete can pull that off. Jerry did it, and I, of course, in my grandeur, decided to post a photo from the Ewok cartoons, and I got a bunch of likes and comments. So
it's the truth. It's the truth.
It looks like the Ewok cartoon.
I mean, it's obviously me. I was trying to find. You know how ridiculously hard it is to find a bearded cartoon character.
No.
I tried so many phrasings in Google. I tried so many different combination of words and stuff. And it's what usually it would bring up is cartoon characters who don't have beards usually with beards drawn on them, like frickin' Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats with a beard. And the coolest one that I almost shared, except for he was bald, was Hey Arnold. With like a big long like hipster beard like his guy has now, the guy who played him when he was a kid back in the day and stuff. He's like a total like hipster awesome dude.
Sure.
And I love how you said that. Sure, he's cool. Sure, but yeah, he was all bald on the top and stuff. And you know, I'm not bald on the top. I'm not going to take that off again.
I'm going to be bald soon. It's bad. My hair's thinning out. Anyway, back to the lecture at hand. Jerry.
At hand.
3 years.
This is what you guys have to look forward to at Celebration 2022.
2 years and 2 months. We will be at Celebration. And I respect it. And I'm very happy they postponed it because honestly, if they kept it going, no celebs are going to do anything. The panels are going to be bizarre in terms of like.
I mean, you think that it's like bad getting like cut off for a panel at Celebration normally? I mean, just like think about the lines too, man. And I don't even know how the Anaheim Convention Center is set up, but I hear it's like way smaller. It's not as big as the I can't think of the name of the Wintrust Arena and stuff. I can't think of,
I forget the name of the other.
For some reason, Macklemore sticks in my head, but I know that's not it. Macklemore is not a.
So important too.
McCormick.
There we go.
Like
Daddy.
the seasonings.
Oh, Daddy Bombad. Look at him. Hold on. Let's look at him. He's so smart. He's got that dad knowledge.
Because everyone's dad knows everything, or at least pretends like they do, right?
Yeah.
It's always like
you
ask your dad anything when you're a kid, and they always tell you something with the like 150% confidence. It's like, Dad, how do they make toothpaste? Well, you see, they go and squeeze a bunch of starfish under the ocean, and then what comes out of them is what they put into the tube.
That's what we use in our mouth.
Yeah, and
then they go their whole adult life, and they're like, "Oh, gross! I'm never."
Well, then you're like having to stop your kid from grabbing a starfish at the Discovery pool at like SeaWorld and stuff. Like, no, don't put that in your mouth. This is already turning out to be a fantastic episode.
Remember that? You said that would be the George of this Bombadcast, and we've never done a reference to it.
The
since.
George, yeah. Well, and the George, of course, referencing the new Scream that we still couldn't pinpoint. Are you what are you eating, a turd sandwich? What is that? I don't understand what's going on.
I was doing a Jerry.
I do eat turd sandwiches all the time, so that's pretty good. Oh my gosh, it's uncanny. You got to do the what is it, the dad duck face, the dad duck face I do, like for all my selfies. It's the only way I feel I look natural is to look like I just got surprised. And never mind, I'm not going to finish that sentence. So
go with that.
Celebration. It's a good decision. We've all known it's been coming for a while. They've kind of released some information that was like, would have been released there. I bet we would have gotten the certain point of view drop at Celebration. And then it just drop in November, because it's coming out in November. So that's like a good few months, right? Like they would have waited till then for that, because that's huge, right? Because that would have been at the 40th anniversary panel, which you're probably right. We're not getting that. That's I mean, we might get something online or something like that.
Wait, what we are getting, people? If you do your calculations, this may even be more exciting than the Phantom Menace panel. And I'm saying it out loud. We could get an Attack of the Clones 20 years. Panel.
Ooh.
Yes, so be optimistic. I know it got canceled, but be optimistic for what we will get. We'll get Mando season 4. We'll get whatever. We'll get Rebels.
I'm gonna excite you, Scotty. Okay. My little one will be 5. She will be old enough to enjoy going to something like an event like this, and so we could have a crew and some children along. Who knows? I might be we might be going to ride the little Luke speeders and stuff around like that. So there you go, going to Disneyland and stuff, meeting Ray and all that.
Oh my God.
Man.
So there really
get ready for cuteness. Get ready for absolute adorableness. So you guys aren't ready. You're not ready.
It's like there's a lot of pros and cons to it. I think there's a lot more pros. The only con to me was the fact that it was going to be so soon, and I was a little upset, honestly. I think everyone was, and it needed to happen. And I don't know, it would have been a weird celebration. I'm sure it might be weird in the future. We can't predict it, but like a face mask, social distance celebration would be interesting because it's all different walks of life. I mean, me being from Louisiana in the South, we're taking it serious, but like a lot of people aren't. Just honestly, they just aren't. So like
that's a little bit everywhere. I mean, it's certain places, it's certain, but the people everywhere are taking it how they take it.
So pretty much, like if we had gone to Celebration, I don't even know what it would have been like. It'd be people that take it seriously, people that don't take it seriously. It's just.
Well, like you got your TLJ fans and your non-TLJ fans, and we all get along at Celebration, surprisingly.
You're anti-TLJ fans, Jerry. Just a little reference.
Yeah, you decide who's who. I don't know. Yeah. It's funny because I've seen both. Like we've gotten comments on our YouTube video where people are like, "Oh, you must like TLJ, must be a Trump supporter," or "Oh, liberal snowflake." I mean, I'm like, who are you people? What?
How can you get this much information?
How are you making the rules?
Reaction video.
It's funny.
It's insane.
Yeah. Let's get political right here. No, it's just so funny. I want to say, I was actually relieved. I'm gonna get real for a minute. I was relieved because it was, man, I just went last year. It was meant to be, my trip to Celebration was meant to be a once in a lifetime thing.
Wow.
Not just because that's what me and Allison talked about, and not just because of that, because I was like, oh man, I might never get the chance to go again because if it's really far off, whatever, obviously this and the success that we've kind of the mild success we've
it's still success.
We've had the success that we've had doing this, which is, again, thanks to all of you guys out there in YouTube and podcast land. Thank you. I don't know why you guys like listening to us ramble and make fart noises, but hey, you're here. Cool. We don't get, we're not writing a Rian Johnson flick. Obviously we're writing we're more the Adam Sandler of the, no, I won't insult us like that. I'm just kidding.
No. I guess we could be.
We've got a Netflix deal, but we're just kind of going to throw whatever on there,
We're the
anyway.
McDonald of Star Wars podcast. We're just really dry and bizarre. And just like there's the punchline was like we're
the Jimmy Fallons because we just look at no, maybe that's not a good reference right now. Never mind. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I have Snoke sitting on his throne right behind my computer here, and he keeps falling every time I hit the desk. So if that's what you're hearing, you're hearing Snoke it's like that the old person on that commercial with the life alert, help, I've fallen and I can't get up. It's like him in his bathrobe. It looks exactly the same. So yeah, I hope his hip's okay. Back to my thing. I'm just with everything that's been going on this year. I'll get real with you guys. I've lost my job, right? I've lost it, and there's like a lot of stuff going around like that. It was looking like I don't know how I'm going to make it there. We had this mild success. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to go to another one, but again, the success of Bombadcast, the things that have happened for us and stuff. Yes, it's made like me and even my Allison go. Okay, yeah, you need to try to go because it's networking for you, and you can be successful at that. It's something that I want to do, but again, it got closer and closer and closer, and it just was like, man, there's so much. Like I couldn't get tickets at the right time. They don't tell you till like a week before. Yeah. And then it's like I don't have time to raise the money. It's like tickets to Disney World. It's all big and.
Nothing.
Anyway, again, I'm letting you guys in on my life because I trust all of you people in YouTube. But again, like I was relieved. Honestly, I was relieved, and I don't mean to talk over you.
Well, you can save up
full couple years, and even Allison, she was the one who told me. She goes, "Ella's going to be 5. Yeah, you could probably take her then and stuff." And like, can you imagine my dreams coming true? Taking that little Padawans. Oh my gosh. And it's just, I don't know.
Everyone can say people that have been saying, "Oh, I can't go." Not to say you don't have an excuse, but like, this is the time. Like, we've never had
saving now.
Yeah, literally, because we never had one come up and then get canceled. So like, money that I had saved up is gonna be saved up literally for 2 years. Might be double or triple what it was. So like you can just live in Galaxy's Edge and like stay there. Like we'll just like camp out on top of the Falcon or something. Yeah. No one will see us unless they're on there. We'll get off before people get on the ride. That's the plan. But no,
that is the plan.
So stay tuned. But no, in all seriousness, if you want to go and you've never been, it really is life-changing. And I mean, look what stemmed from it. I don't know what you call this show. I've read it. I've read the logo. My dad calls it the Bombat. So I'm still not quite sure. Right.
Speaking of things, my dad mispronounced. Is it just a dad thing, like dads of a certain age, or is it just like you're supposed to mispronounce stuff if you're from? If you were, what decade was your dad from?
My dad was born in '66.
Okay, so my dad's technically a boomer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And so, but
that is too, technically.
It's funny. I think because my mom is too. I think because she was born like in the '60s and stuff too. But anyway, I forgot. It was right when Baja Blast came out at Taco Bell. Okay, and we're in the drive-thru for Taco Bell. Okay.
I know where you're going with
I think I might have been in high school. I don't know. We were coming back from like something. I was in the car with my parents. Me and my sister in the back seat. Whatever. I don't know. We're riding with my parents, getting some Taco Bell for dinner because whatever was going on. And
toys and everything. No, I'm just
well, I mean, it might have been around that time. I don't know. I can't remember when Baja Blast came out exactly, but I was, we were at the drive-through, and my dad is the one, because dad drives, back in, that was a thing. Dad drives because it's a nuclear family, and we don't break from that because, otherwise they win. I'm just kidding. Sure. I'm joking. So my dad is like ordering for us, and he's like, "What do you want to drink?" And I said, "Baja Blast," and he goes, "And a BAHOO Blast, BAHOO Blast, like BAHOO, like jumping off of a cliff or something, like Yahoo, but with a B."
The year it released was 2004.
Oh, dude. Okay, I was a junior in high school, so I forget what we were at. Look,
I love that though. A BAHOO Blast.
You're gonna get a free ride and stuff with your parents, right? Especially when you have to pay for your own guy. I don't know. I don't have to defend myself to you guys. Anyway, my parents were buying me Taco Bell. Of course, I was gonna do it. So a BAHOO Blast. It was the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
Why is it so funny? Things like that are hilarious to me.
If you know my dad, especially, he like does it all the time and stuff. And my dad mispronounces stuff on purpose because he's.
Did he say Bombadcast yet? Is he?
I don't know. But my again, my Padawan has been running around. The other day, her cousin or her my wife's cousin came with her little girl, and they had a play date. And Ella, I heard her in the other room going, "Stay Bombad, stay Bombad, stay Bombad." Like so she'll just say that randomly now. So pretty great. So
freaking awesome.
Again, because she watched the end of the brainwashing episode with me where we said it 500 times. It's a celebration. Stay BAHOO.
Stay BAHOO, dude.
Gungan Goons has got to be something. We've got to work that into something, a T-shirt or whatever.
So
Cheers to you, Seth.
Even though Cheers is a long time, we'll see where we're at as a culture 2 years from now. It'll be interesting. Maybe all this will have subsided, and maybe we might be in a healing spot for America, which would be really nice because right now there's a lot of division. And I don't know. Postponing it's good. And I think both cards, there's a lot going on right now, like politically and around this entire world, that I think maybe in 2 years from now we'll be in a really good spot where things are on the kind of coming back up. Maybe the 2022 will be a good year and we'll be able to take advantage of it, and be able to have a true celebration, because I really don't think if it happened this August, there would be the essence or the feeling of an actual celebration going on. We'd be happy Star Wars is happening, but
had coronavirus and stuff like that, maybe it would have been like a good, cause it's always good to get together, but it's going to feel so good to get together with people, especially now that we know more people in the community and stuff.
In 2 years of more people joining the community and maybe more people watching Mando, some people that I know that probably wouldn't be able to go might end up saving, like people that I know personally might want to go. Yeah. So I don't know, like Troy, I mean, we talked about it. So you never know. So it could be like we could have more attendees, more friends and more family. Maybe the fandom might be changed a little bit by then. Maybe it'll be a lot less negativity in the fandom because of Mando and because of things that are going to be coming out in the future. So I'm genuinely, I was upset, but I think it needed to happen. And like you said, it was more of a relieving feeling because I can cancel my flights now. I can transfer the tickets. There's a lot of things that can there's a lot of things that were up in the air that was really kind of scary. And now we can all kind of accept it. And, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I really am.
Too. It's going to be good. It's going to be excellent. And just really the best advice I can give you is really work on that intense sphincter control. It'll really, you got to get nice and taut.
You want your butt to be able to play a trumpet.
Taut is the worst and best word.
It's got to be able to play a buzz.
Okay, we gotta. We are derailed. they're gonna like Pete was asking if they needed to like censor his episode this past week. By the time you guys are hearing this, I think they're gonna want to just completely cut this episode by the time we're done because of all the sphincter references. So, yeah. What is it? I got to do some Kegels or Kegel, the exercise. Anyway,
BAHOO Blast.
BAHOO Blast. Here we go. Are you quite finished? I almost thought you were like paused for a second there. So, guys,
speaking of Easter eggs, I am a proud believer in the gallery. I think
like
it's good.
just galleries in general.
No. I think I'm going to change my religion to the Mandalorian, the gallery, and I'm going to worship it, and it'll be like, yeah, it's a new thing. It's kind of a forward-thinking objective of mine that I'm going to make Star Wars a religion. And in particular, the gallery will be our Bible. And there was a really, really good final episode called Connections. And now the topic will be that. So, Celebration will be in 2 years from now. And here we are talking about Easter eggs in the Mandalorian.
What? I really know what's going on now.
See, if this is your first Bombadcast episode, sorry, you probably have cancer now.
Go back.
So
Whoa.
Wow.
Rough.
Woof.
Oh man. Snoke almost fell out of his chair on that one too. Holy cow.
Jerry, that last episode of the gallery. EV9D9 played by a Mark Hamill. What? Amazing.
You guys. I am a self-proclaimed canon junkie, and that had to be my favorite episode of the gallery ever. Besides the one that blew my mind was where they were talking about the what do they call the video room, the danger room or whatever? Like it's like the X-Men's danger room or something.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you're a Star Trek fan, I think it's called the holodeck. But get a life, nerds. What do they call that?
The Bombadcast. And
the BAHOO.
So the volume.
The volume. Oh, I was so close. The BAHOO. The volume. Sorry. The volume. Oh, dude.
Great episode.
Like, that was mind-blowing too. But this last one, dude, where they talk about you just have Filoni and like Filoni and Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, and all these people who are supposed to hate each other and stuff, sitting around a table just trying not to leap across and strangle the other person.
Kill the other person.
Oh my goodness.
So awesome.
You can see. And by the way, EV99, I was a little like, that really is EV99. It was a little like, it's funny how like, how much in fandom we talk about, we get upset when people are like, oh, is that Boba Fett? No, it's the Mandalorian. It's like, but you go and you watch in like Favreau and Filoni, you're like, that's R4, that's R5D5, and just paint him up and stuff, and he's still here. And there is that is EV99, and now he's working at the bar and stuff. And like they had the thought we all did. I was like, it might not even be the actual Mos Eisley Cantina that they walked in, but they're like, no, it is because we're just doing that. And I know people get upset, and they're like, people are like really like getting their knickers in a twist over all the characters that are coming into season 2 and all that, which fit with Mando culture. I really need to get tested. But anyway, they what was I even saying? I don't know. I'm getting upset.
I know what you're trying to say, and it really you weren't doing well at it. So
I wasn't. Yeah. Well, thanks. You suck. Well, still, I know people get like, that's part of Star Wars, though. That's what I was trying to say. Part of Star Wars is look at that cool stuff. Like what they said at the beginning of the episode, which I'm sure is like my favorite part.
Great, because it's literally like when I went to see The Rise of Skywalker, I'm like hitting Katie. You know what that is? You know, literally, it's like they had that one shot, and this is so specific in The Rise of Skywalker, where it had the Death Star, and Rey had just gotten inside of it, and it's like a pan up towards Rey. They show an Imperial shuttle, and like in my brain, my Star Wars brain, it was like, that's an Imperial shuttle.
There
Katie.
it is. There it is.
It's like so hard to see, and then like pan to Rey. It's just like Dave is that dude at that table, you know, and that's what it's like watching Mando with, you know, people that might have not been a huge, insanely invested Star Wars thing. Like the classic was the I wrote it down, TT-8L droid. It's like the Ring doorbell.
Oh yeah,
Elvis Palace. You talking to me? Like literally, when we watched that first episode of Mando, even at the panel at Celebration when they showed that footage, I was like, "That's the same thing," you know. Like it's just so Star Wars to do that, and I love that Dave is that for that whole episode. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, and John's a little bit like that too. It's funny because you see, I love that they're letting like. We are all Star Wars fans. They're letting Star Wars fans of different ilks like get into this, right? Like Filoni is like a hardcore canon junkie sweaty like us, right? And then Favreau loves this stuff too, but he's like OG, original trilogy, like my Kenner figures.
Words. Like he knows what it is, but he does not know the exact vernacular.
It's funny because like I love he was like a character in the Clone Wars, but he doesn't know as much about that like as Filoni. That was great to see. But what I loved is what John said at the beginning, which he said at the Celebration panel. Was like getting, you know, your brother got all the good action figures and stuff. And we're like, what story can we make with all the leftovers, the stuff that no one wants? And I love they used all these fandom terms, and shout out to Hollow Chronicles talking about peg, or Dave said the peg warmers. And it's like all of that. Like it's really cool. I get chills because them talking about that made me realize like. That's the stuff I eat up as a canon junkie is the stuff that's like background and stuff that I've seen in other movies that are like, it's not necessarily nostalgia. And it's not like, hey, we're pulling this exact character like they did for R5D5 or 99.
Jerry, it's R5D4. Geez, R5, get it right.
It's R5D5.
Nope.
Look it up right now. Look it up.
Well, I haven't even. All right, here we go. It is R5. Like I'm gonna look at my phone so I can show the panel of.
Show me.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Snoke looks very, very skeptical over here.
If I'm correct, Jerry gets the show us Snoke. Dude, you're so wrong.
I have to show my Snoke. Ew.
His name is literally look. There's R5D4. Is it?
I can't read that. It's not. I don't believe you. I'm like pull a Ron Burgundy, just light up a cigarette. I don't believe you. All right.
Here we go.
We're on right now.
Google it on my computer. Jerry, you entertain the guest. So wait, real quick before I go and do this hardcore research, I wanted to stop. Don't talk over me. I wanted to say this episode is not only about what we feel about that episode of The Gallery, but all of the Easter eggs in The Mandalorian that actually was found by Alex Damon from Star Wars Explained on one of his YouTube videos. Of course, here I am just writing out what he said. So Jerry, you ramble and be bothersome while I get this hardcore R5D4 information pulled up.
Whatever. Okay. I just can you talk to me while you type too? I will entertain. Okay. You know what? I don't care. You do you because I did make you do this. Okay. So we've got all of this like stuff in the Mandalorian. I don't know. That's what I love the most about Star Wars is what I was saying. The stuff that I eat up as a canon junkie is seeing things used, and the way Dave talked about it, about we're not necessarily reinventing things, but just using the world that's there. And love that because it makes it feel lived in, right? Like it makes it feel more lived in to me. And, you know, like seeing, like if we're using holocrons and stuff, like that's what people got upset in Rise of Skywalker because they didn't call the Wayfinder a holocron, where it's like, yeah, I can let that go because that's just another type of holocron or it's another thing, whatever. So did you pull it up?
You want to be wrong? Or?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, it's really tiny on my screen still, so I still don't believe you.
All right, give me a second.
Zoom in for my old eyes. Look, guys, so old. I see an X-wing. Parts of his play. R2D2, R5D4. All right. All right, and as promised,
show us your Snoke.
Show him a Snoke.
Oh, hot. Oh, man.
I'm too sexy for my robe. Too sexy for my robe. Too sexy. Also excellent sphincter control on him because have you seen the seats there? It doesn't look very comfy.
So back to the important thing. This episode is going to be a deep dive, okay, into all things we see in the Mandalorian that I would consider Easter eggs, Bohu Blue. And pretty much one of my favorite lines from that was after he goes on the whole ramble of like, you've got, you know, your IG toy, all the toys that, you know, your brother didn't want to play with. There's a line where Dave goes, and John said to himself, with all these elements, we can launch Disney Plus. I'm like, that's amazing. Like,
it is awesome.
The idea of that, you know? And I will say this too, before we go on to this big old list of stuff we've got, which is about 110 Easter eggs. One thing I thought was awesome was how much celebration was mentioned in this episode alone. So I think they're trying to sell some.
Mention that too. Yeah, man.
Sick. That was so awesome.
Because that was one of the big things. That was one of the big things was the ice cream makers. Yeah, I didn't get to see the run. Actually, I was really upset. I was in a panel or something.
I saw it in Orlando. That was the time. Yeah.
And I would have loved to see this one because there was the guy dressed as the ice cream maker holding a tiny Wilro hood.
Yes.
But they showed the running of the Wilro hoods and stuff, and like they talked about how it is and it's funny because all the directors and stuff are sitting there like, whoa, really? That's interesting. But it's like it's so much fun. Like people don't know that is kind of the fun just community and level of weirdness and stuff that goes on here. And that's Star Wars fans. We love the weird like background, whatever's going on. And they turned that freaking thing into something big in the show.
See, that's where it gets interesting because you've got someone like Dave who is like just the king of it. You know, and making lore too. Yes. He just loves messing around with stuff. And like
George's Padawan.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. But John is not afraid to take it on either. John's like, all right, I get that. We'll throw that in there. Like the next season, apparently, we've seen the mold of it. There is a jacked Gamorrean guard, like a ripped,
oh my gosh,
swole, and like that's literally John going, man, I love Return of the Jedi. I love these characters. Let's put them in a show. You know, so the idea
they'd probably be like, what if you made him look a little different, like a little buff?
Like a little more ripped, like he's like swole.
Yeah,
you know, like
you can put me in the costume or whatever. I don't know. Yeah,
that's good. Keep going.
I don't know what else to say, so I got to put a cowboy hat for it to be even better. So,
bing. No, but in all seriousness, there's some insane Easter
filters
eggs
going.
That I forget are even. Because as Star Wars fans, we don't think of them as Easter eggs because it just builds the lore and it builds the universe. But how it's going to go is I'm going to go through the list and we'll talk about a good bit of them. And yeah, they're kind of segmented by episode. So one of the first Easter eggs we got really was the mention of Beskar, which is so cool because I believe it was in the old comics and the old EU, but it really wasn't mentioned a new canon until Rebels. I think Rebels was the first to be.
I always forget it's mentioned in those Rebels episodes and stuff too.
Yes, the last season. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I love how they, in the opening, you got a Cornyn, which is amazing. And like the Cornyn looks so perfect. Like, and apparently they said it looked too Davy Jonesy.
They like, I think they said they had it like moving and stuff. So like it was too real and stuff. Yeah. So just, which is funny. You don't think about that. The stuff they talk about, like the herky jerky motion of the walkers and stuff that they still put into this. That it doesn't look fake, but it's just it doesn't have that magic if they do it anymore.
And like if you watch that opening scene of that fight, like the Corrin's eyes are like moving and his like nose is like moving a little bit. It's so sick. And so there's references from pretty much all canon. And the one that the gallery kind of went over that I wish it would have kind of elaborated more on was with the pit droids, because that was a huge portion. And we only saw them in episodes 1, I'm pretty sure. Did they ever show back up?
No, they're in the pit droids are in the episode with Calipan.
I know, but I'm saying in terms of Star Wars, do the pit droids show up in Phantom Menace? I mean, do the pit droids show up in Attack of the Clones?
I'm trying to think here.
Maybe in the background.
I think they might be in like the Jedi. I think they might be in Revenge of the Sith. Honestly, in like the Jedi hangar or whatever. That makes sense. They're in. At least I might be getting Clone Wars confused, right? Because they are, and there's a character who is one Whack.
Yes. So
more love for Whack.
We get crazy things. Like another one we get is the Pulse Rival that was literally from the holiday special. And Jerry, how great was John? Like, hey, that's canon, right? You made that.
Hey,
like,
George.
And then he's like, holiday special, you wrote that. And he says what?
Well, he was like, oh, I don't like that or whatever. It's just like, it's very just like, not really.
Yeah.
I don't really like that. It's just, oh my gosh.
So awesome.
It's so George. It's just like you're so excited about it, and he's like, "Oh, I actually really hate that thing." Or so
So like, of course, John for this first episode was pulling, and like I think the first episode is the most Easter eggs. You get Carbonite, you get the Sabacc, like they're playing Sabacc in the bar. You get a Gonk droid, which is great, walking for some reason from the back and the front door. You get TT-8L droid, which is like the ring doorbell.
I'm not yawning because you're boring me. I'm sorry. Sorry, everyone.
You're sleepy.
I don't sleep.
This one's interesting because this was actually brought to my attention like after the first episode aired, was the Camino patch on Dr. Pershing, which was crazy. Remember we were all freaking out about that? I remember that vividly. And it's still interesting. We'll see what that goes.
We'll see, because we don't know why they wanted the child.
Oh yeah.
Or Baby Loda, whatever. But again, he's not a clone or a strand cast or whatever, Yeah. I worked in the gene fields. I'm surprised at how good that was, actually.
That was really damn good.
I'm working on my Nick Nolte. I have Nick Nolte hair right now. If I take the hat off, I'm not taking the hat off. It's sick.
Well, the next one, the Kawaki and Monkey Lizard at Celebration, I was like, whoa, they're roasting one. And then I was like,
it's so sad, but it's also like,
because they're sentient. They're like semi-sentient.
They are.
Kind of over here, which is a little
and
upsetting.
It's like, they've got bigger brothers now, we found out in Resistance. So Kawaki and monkey, or Kawaki and ape lizards. That's technically what they're called. Yeah. Jacked up Salacious Crumb.
And they like guarded that Hutt's casino, which is even funnier. They were like the guards, and they like had little ties, I think, or something, like little bow ties or something stupid. Literally, man. like Chippendales.
There's a lot to anger people in Resistance, but I still like it. It's
me too.
It's got good stuff in it.
It does. It's got some silly stuff. They mentioned the Purge of Mandalore. You know what else they've mentioned, and they showed a lot of that was like a highlight of the season, was the fact that they're blurgs. And I've never watched the Ewok Adventure stuff, but I will say, I don't think I've ever wanted a toy more in my life than like a die-cast model of the Razor Crest, which I'm still like a little thirsty for, like I really am, and a like nice Black Series blurg. Like that would just like, I was hoping when they had that Hasbro announcement like 5 or 6 days ago, I was like, I was praying to God have a blurg toy so I can just buy it. I would. There's not many things I would mindlessly purchase. Yeah, that blurg definitely that would be one of them.
Oh man,
no, the price is not. I don't even care.
I would absolutely get one of those too. It needs to have like back in the day, like my Ronto back here. It needs to have Mando in action.
Yes. It's exactly what we need.
How you ask your mom for that, you got to make sure and enunciate the whole thing. Mando bucking action.
Mando BAHOO action.
BAHOO. Okay? BAHOO Mando action.
So good.
BAHOO bucking action.
Dude, the blurgs are great because they're fish. They're like piranhas.
It's a Piranhasaurus Rex.
And they're like, and they just have that asymmetrical face like a lizard would. Yeah. Oh no, it's
I forgot
bilateral symmetry where like they are the exact same on both sides. Like,
I forgot that they were. I saw the Ewok movies before I watched Clone Wars, right?
Cool.
But the Clone Wars was where I remember seeing them, and they stuck in my brain. And I remember going like, "Those are the dumbest looking things I've ever seen." Even me, Ronto, Jiao Yao's a loving. Cannon Junkie Jerry was like, those things look dumb. Why? There's giant faces with arms. It's like a giant emoji. It's like a giant tadpole. Like, again, like a Piranhasaurus Rex. Like I said earlier, it's just like, what in the world, you know?
Cool dinosaurs.
But I love it, and I love that they've been in all of Filoni's stuff that he's touched, which is funny. He was like, for some reason, they've been in all my stuff, so.
Well, like during that interaction too, when he's trying to learn how to ride the blurg, Queel says like the mighty mythosaur. Your people rode the mythosaur.
And like mighty mythosaur.
That's good. So like I love
that was BAHOO. A little
that was nice.
BAHOO Blast. I have spoken. It needs to be a little deeper. He needs to be a little deeper. Deeper. A little deeper.
I think it's cool that it was speculated at some point too in canon that like Mandalorians arrived on Mandalore and they had to kill all the mythosaurs. So that's why it's their symbol, and I like that it's best.
Had to kill.
Yeah. You know,
they're not conservationists, obviously.
No. Another good one was the IG units. The fact that like Dave was like, yeah, they're just old props from the cantina. I think it's just so great. It's
John being like, stack stuff up behind Boba Fett, and like I love they show the shot, and it's clearly like got moving parts on it and stuff. But I get what he was saying. It's so funny because it is just like, what is that thing? Like, what is that? All our lives, man. That gave me chills. That part, by the way, when they're like the droid, like talking to people, like I had the action figure that when I was a kid. Or like, oh, what did it do? Like nothing. But it did stuff in my head. And I'm like, that part gave me chills. Where it's just like that is. So if you don't understand why people like Star Wars so much, watch this series. Honestly, watch the Gallery series because the way they talk about it is the way we all kind of feel about it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
that's what I like though, because it works. Like the IG units being just a toy, and as a kid, you're like, oh, wow, what could it do? The same with the Trandoshans in the next episode. Amazing. We've seen them a lot in Clone Wars, but to see them in live action was crazy. And then the line "no disintegrations" has so much more meaning now in terms of like what that looks like and like for real. And just shoots one of them. They're like, and Baby Yoda
dust and a little bit close.
What the hell just happened to him? It's amazing. It's sick. I don't know.
I love that. That's a underrated part. All of that. That whole fight sequence in the second episode is great. Awesome. I see you saw Baby Yoda going like what the heck just happened, but I just saw it seemed like he was just like stone face the whole time to me. Stone face for that. Stone face for when like
Jawas are getting killed.
Mando's like killing like stormtroopers horribly, you know, like cooking them in their suits and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, BAHOO.
So the next part with the off-world Jawas, I love that they only had a little bit of variation. Like Tatooine Jawas are yellow-dyed, and these Jawas are like a little more red, orange-eyed, which I thought was great. Great
it's a cool
stuff.
Detail.
Yeah, and then the sandcrawler was different, had like a canopy on the top.
Their robes are a little different too. They look a little more gray. At least the Black Series figure looked a little more like that.
And like, what a clever way to do it, because like, you can say they're from different planets. They can go to different places and do different things. They don't always have to stay stuck to Tatooine, which is nice because that kind of changes canon up a little bit without doing too much, without saying, hey, we landed on Tatooine, and it's obvious they didn't, you know?
That does, because they don't show the name of the planet or say the name of it like in that episode. So it does confuse the heck out of casual fans, though. Like, this is Tatooine? That's Tatooine that he's riding the fish thing on, right? Yeah.
Going to go kill a baby. Or no, take a baby.
Take a baby.
Crazy one, I didn't think about this one. The Jawa's ion blaster. Duh. That's the same exact thing R2 gets shot in A New Hope. I didn't think about it. Like,
really?
Watching it again.
What an idiot. What a fake fan. What a fake fan you are.
I know. And like kind of an Indiana Jones reference where they're climbing stuff. I don't know. It's got a feel.
It's totally like Indy climbing the tank, right? Like trying to get on the so good. Yeah. I love that part though where he gets up to the top and they just all like unload on him. And like so great.
Back so hard, and then of course we see the Mando going through so much stuff, and he takes the vibra blade when he's trying to kill the what's it called, the
Mudhorn.
Yep, he takes the vibra blade out, and it's the first time we see that in live action, and you see the blade like wobbling. It's so cool.
I didn't notice that until the second time I watched the next episode, The Sin, where they he's got the blades on the other person. I'm like, are they like shaking really bad? We're like, oh, it's a vibro blade. Whoa, that's wow.
How heavy is
crazy. That's pretty crazy, man.
So it's cool because after that episode, I've already been like, well, they really are just going to give us everything in terms of like Easter eggs for fans. Like the whole time, I remember like just going through Twitter and people just identifying all the craziest.
Did you see that? Did you? Yeah. Oh gosh. Apologies to everyone in the UK and everyone who did not get Disney Plus until like March.
Yes.
Like, did you have anything that you didn't see? Like, it's.
I feel bad. It's a shame.
It's hard. It's yeah. Can't keep a lid on anything, can you?
Well, then a cool one is the one that actually got a lot of talk on the show, which was the War Hood, is the Cantano. Is that how you say? How do you spell it?
Camtano.
Camtano. I spelled it wrong.
Camtano of Spice.
So
or Camtano of Beskar.
Yes.
And stuff.
Yes.
And I love that they said it's a Pulp Fiction reference to the golden briefcase. Yeah. The stuff where you open it up and it's got the light and all that. That's kind of crazy.
So awesome.
That was so cool. Awesome. It's cool that they took that thing that was an actual ice cream maker from the 70s.
Yes.
And that is like, they're like, that is a storage. It makes sense now why Willow is running through the evacuation of Cloud City. He's running through the shot. And it's funny because like back in the day, I think in the EU, they said that it was like a computer memory core. They made him like crazy important and all that.
Yeah.
Yet Wilrow is important and all that. I know.
It's sick because that's something I immediately noticed. Remember Dave posted or John posted on his Instagram a while back a picture of that, and I was like, "That's it!" Like,
how long until Igloo makes a cooler that is the Camtano and stuff? But I mean, it wouldn't open up like that, but it would be sweet if it did.
Oh, it'd be awesome. So
that's a Celebration exclusive, I bet. 2022, man.
poo myself.
They've got to have something like that. Yeah. What if they have an actual Camtano ice cream maker?
Whoo! Now I'm getting very excited. Like G puts one out. So that episode gave us.
Think of that. They'll have a prom night Palpatine bathrobe. Like just think about it. Just think about it.
And thong.
Yes.
So
cufflinks.
Cummerbund. That episode gave us a lot. Episode 3, we had Paz Vizsla, which was voiced by Jon Favreau, which is amazing. That wasn't even mentioned in the gallery. Super Battle Droids, which was nuts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Seeing them in live action again.
It was shown. And like that was I think it probably was like a practical one too, because they were all digital in Attack of the Clones. Mm-hmm. One that I thought was weird that everyone picked up on except for me, and I felt really dumb about it, was that there was the trash compactor rod that Luke and Leia used. I didn't notice. I still don't see it really when I watch the episode. I get frustrated.
I mean, it's Star Wars garbage. It was in the dumpster, right?
Star Wars garbage
with the pram.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
The space stroller, the space aid.
Yes.
The Baby Yoda.
Because this one got overlooked too. I didn't think about this one until they mentioned it in the gallery. Was the torture droid, like the one that was floating? And now it might not have been a torture droid in the Mando, but it definitely had the same look with the.
Well, yeah, it was the Death Star thing. Yeah, they said they even like lit it the same way, so you would like
same way
be called. It's crazy how that works though. Like that's
I know
the smallest details like that is what really makes
something. So as he said, people remember that movement of light, and I'm like, wow. Because I always, dude, you'll agree with me on this one, because it was in the 5th episode, the light movement of that thing in the background when Luke and 3PO first walk in the cantina. The light movement in that little box. It's a box with a blue light. The light movement is like in a cross shape, and it goes up, down, up. Then it starts again, up, down, up. And I can like picture it in my head right now. And that's like one of the first things I looked for in that episode was like, oh my God, is that box still there? And it was.
Yeah.
And all the games too. I was playing, I was hilarious. I was playing Pod Racer. Legitimately, it's not the same cantina. It's a different cantina, but that box is in there. The light sequence is doing the whole thing.
It's crazy.
Same exact thing. I know.
My grandparents used to have one of those. You ever see one of those like heaters that's in a wall and stuff that like it's propane and it lights up blue and stuff with the heat and all that. You're not supposed to touch. It's got a grate in front of it. I played like that was that thing.
Sick
and all that.
See, I love that, and that's only stuff we would notice. I don't know. It is clicked, but so yeah, like just that light sequence. I just remembered seeing it. Like the Lego games had it too. But Chapter 4 is interesting because there's a couple of them I didn't think about. The Klatooinians, which is like the pit bull dog looking people.
Yeah. See, at first I was like, okay, all right. Are you going Jackson the Rabbit on this? Because they were dressed different than they were.
Straight up like a boxer. It was like, wow.
It's straight, like, well, and he had like spots too. I'm like, what? And I was like, oh, wait, those are in Return of the Jedi. It took me a little bit, but at first I was like, dog people? Okay.
Hey, have you ever seen, I think it was Daft Punk's Da Funk or Daft Punk's Around the World video where there's like a dog person? Because they look a little bit like a Klatooinian, and it always makes me laugh when I watch that episode.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it.
It's weird. It's just like it's a classic 90s weirdness.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so I always think of that music video every time that episode comes on because he's like, rah, rah, like yelling it. I don't know. The Raiders.
Right. I actually love that. It's funny because I don't have a problem with the shark guy.
Neither do I.
Riff Tamson. I think that's a sweet Star Wars name. I like sharks. I think it's kind of neat. I actually used to be really into Street Sharks when I was a kid when those first came out.
Dude, I always thought they looked like street sharks. Oh my God.
Street Sharks.
BAHOO, baby.
BAHOO.
This
is all Baja Blast. No, just it's water.
Dude, we need to get sponsored. So could you imagine being sponsored by Bombadcast, brought to you by Baja Blast?
They changed it to Bombad Blast.
Oh my god. At one point in that episode, which I think is great, the Mando calls Baby Yoda a womp rat. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's good. That's clever.
It's he's like being all affectionate too. It's like,
it was really sweet. That's like the episode where he like really talks to Baby Yoda a lot. It like makes my heart warm when I watch that one. Lothcat, dude. When I first saw
my gosh.
Eric texted me, goes, "You're gonna freak out about 5 minutes into it." I said, "Okay, why?" And then the Lothcat's like, I'm like, yes, live action.
That I was the most excited about that, and I still, because I've always wondered. I have like Lothcats. I was also like, what is that? That looks too cartoony. What's that going to look like in live action? And seeing one, it's like, that's pretty cool. Okay, I like it. I like it. And I like cats. You guys know, like I've got my, Jack the Bombad cat. I don't know where he is. So
I think it's great. And I think it's also really cool in that same episode, they refer to the Imperial Walkers and ATST. I'm like, nice.
ATST. Which is never said, right? Nothing. Chicken Walkers never said either.
Nope. It's just funny. And here we go. I'm not gonna lie. I think the next one is the most heavy. Chapter 5 was insane. Like the shot-for-shot recreation of Tatooine. When he comes over and you see almost the same exact matte painting. You're like, wow. And then he flies down to Mos Eisley. It's like the same exact shot you see from that perspective, and then you see it from your perspective. It's like, it's insane.
Yeah,
insane.
It was really cool, and I understand, again, people saying like it's too much. There's like this thing where people feel like if you have any nostalgia in anything, it makes it automatically terrible or whatever and stuff. Like, I don't know, but I thought that was some good. It feels good. It's like, I don't know. I like junk food as well. Like Star Wars has your deep cuts, and it also has your junk food and stuff.
Yes.
We like it because it's both, right?
And I think this was the one that might have needed it. The story was a little weak, and it's no knocking on the actual story itself, but like I think this is the one that could have really benefited, and it did benefit from all these crazy Easter eggs, Hired gun. I liking the yawn thing because I know you mean it.
It's not. It's completely non-intentional. It's 100% real. This is not acting.
BAHOO. And Mos Eisley, of course, is I think it's docking bay. It's not 94. That's
not 94. It's
not 94.
6H.
Is it really?
No, because I just turned 94 upside down.
You're really cool, and I love you. Pit droids.
They don't have our alphabet in that.
No, they don't. Dude, the pit droids were amazing, and they're like bumbling and like following each other. See, I keep bringing it up. Eric told me I'd love that episode only because Eric stays up till 3:30 and watches them. I have to wake up and go to work, when they were coming out. Like I couldn't.
I would get up for work
an hour early.
4 or whatever, like 4:30. Sure. And get ready to go, and then have breakfast, and they were the perfect amount of time to just watch and then head to work.
Great. Perfect. I love that. That's gonna be the next approach for when they come back out in November or October. So the pit droids were amazing, dude. That was such a great. That was Dave. How Dave was that? Because John didn't totally write that. So Dave.
I want more of the prequel stuff. Like brought back, and no matter how much people complain, keep bringing it back because it needs to be brought back. It's part of it, right? Okay, here we go. Soapbox. That's really all. I just don't be afraid of the pit droids and the battle droids and the Gungans. I mean, for corn's sake,
they get a reference. The Gungans get a reference. Remember in Chapter 6, he's like,
he's like, Gungan under there.
Yeah. So good.
Which is completely anatomically incorrect. How could he fit a Gungan's head inside of that mask,
Would make any sense. Sense.
Had to be a thin Boston ass version, with like the shorter eye stalks, even still.
Hey. But I love that the droids are playing Sabacc with the lady, whatever her name is, and they're like passing the card under the table. It's
trying to think of her name is.
That
actress, I forget her name. She is just a great character comedy actress. She's in Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, see, I thought this is so bad. I thought it was Danny DeVito's ex-wife, the lady from Cheers. When I first saw her, it was big. I forget her name.
I don't know.
But she was in Cheers. Hothead from Cheers.
I didn't watch Cheers. I don't want anyone to know my name.
BAHOO?
Yep.
I'm going to go pee.
Oh. He for real went to pee. Okay. So I really enjoyed that episode. It wasn't the best. Again, that's when we get Fennec Shand. And I love I love being back on Tatooine. I love all that stuff. We still don't know who came to pick up Fennec, and so I don't know. We're all guessing Boba Fett, I think now, or Cobb Vanth, which I think is a very I don't know. I don't think anything from books or extra material is off the table anymore. I think I don't think it's how are they going to explain? No one's going to know who that is. Well, no one knew who the Mandalorian was. And I know you explained it in like all those. You don't know all these characters you're meeting. They don't have to be a big part of the show. You can have a character come in and be like, "Oh, I'm so and so," and all of us would freak out. And the other people could be like, "Oh, why are you freaking out?" "Oh, it's because this dude's from this book." Like, "Oh, cool," which is another thing that people are complaining about for Disney. Like, "Hey, why are they? You're just like trying to push people to the books." To which I say, "Why not? It's all good stuff. You like Star Wars. You like Star Wars. Buy something."
It was nice because it makes you kind of reliable to like maybe pay attention. Like the classic, the craziest thing Lucasfilm has ever done was when they threw Darth Maul and Solo, and everyone I saw it was like, "What?" And I was like, I can explain it to you if you want me to, but
well, it's like a lot of work. I know, and I get it. People are like, "Are you just really annoyed that your parents?" And people are like, "Is this before the first one and stuff? Is this before little Anakin?" And
but you got to do it. That's the point of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, to me, I just don't understand why it's so like, "Oh, that was too inside baseball." Like, put the inside baseball stuff in. Yes. That was a big one. I think I was saying you could put Cobb Vanth in. And stuff I was talking about because I was talking about the episode and stuff. And the actress's name, by the way, is Amy Sedaris.
Amy Sedaris. Yeah.
Amy Sedaris, dude. Oh, she's so hilarious. I love her. I believe she was also in Arrested Development, maybe. I can't remember. I don't know. Maybe not. Who cares? I do. But anyway, and you've got a lot more stuff on there.
Well, was it like Chalmun's Cantina being ran by droids? It's just amazingly ironic. The fact that this blew my mind. EV9D9 was the Cantina barkeep. Like, I didn't think it would be that deep of a cut, but it really much. He's like, "Oh, that's EV9D9." I'm like, wow. He went from being like the torture bot in Jabba's palace to being the barkeep of Chalmun's Cantina. And you can tell the prop does not have any legs, and it's so funny to think just a thing on sticks. Like, imagine owning a bar and just being that stationary, cleaning the bar top. It's just funny. I don't know.
It's great. Works. Oh my gosh! And I don't know. So the part that made everyone ticked off, right, was you got Toro sitting in the booth. Is what it looks like. It looks like the booth.
Yes.
I don't know if they were they never confirmed that. I don't think, but did they? Is that the booth?
I think the gallery said that he is sitting in Han's spot. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, which is it's supposed to make you piss you off. It's supposed to be why are you doing that? You're not Han Solo.
Yeah. That's the point, because he's like the antithesis of Han Solo. He's trying way too hard to play coy. And one thing,
Han Solo was a real bad person, right?
Exactly.
He has all of the charm, but none of the morals, right?
Yes.
None of the heart.
Exactly. Because there's something that needs to be brought up only because you've got this whole moment, and they said it's the most accurate recreation of the cantina, to as much as they can. And I really do in a somewhere in my gut, I think that it's going to 100% be used for either the Obi-Wan series or it's going to be used again in some capacity.
Probably.
Like that, and the fact that one part of it was the volume and the other part was the actual physical set, that blew my mind. I couldn't even tell until they turned off the volume. I'm like, what? It's a fake set. Genius.
That is frightening, but also awesome, right?
Isn't it?
You know?
Like you can do like the Jedi Council now and just need like 3 chairs. Like you can like fully render the Jedi Council chamber. I don't know.
That's funny.
It's great. And then of course R5D4. I love that it is R5D4. That's crazy. I also love that the Tusken Raiders get a huge moment and actually played by deaf actor. Jerry's falling asleep. Jerry, I gotta keep you awake. There were deaf actors that played them, which are really cool. And Jerry, do you think?
Sorry.
BAHOO. BAHOO's gonna be a big Bombadcast thing.
That's really cool though. That's cool that they had those. Everyone needs a chance, right, to be a part of this and stuff.
Yes.
That's really, really awesome.
Maybe
we can find parts for people where they don't have to cover themselves up in hot rags in the desert, right?
Sure.
You know, cover their face in mummy stuff, with, like, metal sticks for eyes. But that's still a great. It's a cool moment.
It is.
It kind of cracks me up. It's almost like comical, like way too comical for me, because it's why don't you ask him yourself? They're like literally right next to him. It's
amazing.
Oh, it's great.
It's so good. There's a reference where he says, "Oh, well, she has the high ground." I'm like, "Oh, maybe a little bit." One thing that no one brought up, I haven't seen anywhere, was the fact that the dewback had like different noises. I thought it was great. It was like, the dewback. It was like really sad. And then when the bullet shoots it, and he's like, it's like starting to run a little bit. Oh, it's great.
Poor little guy. Little guy.
I love it. That whole episode was just filled with the Beggar's Canyon reference. The fact that she's like, I have someone to meet in Mos Espa. I'm like, oh, that's sick. That is great. That's the kind of stuff we need.
And not only all that, what was it? What am I trying to say? The swoop bikes.
Oh, yes.
Swoop,
good
one. Speeder bike.
Bikes, yeah.
Ride out into the desert. So good.
Oh, it's so good. It's a beautiful shot. The line, she's no good to me dead. I was like, oh, that's a Boba Fett line right there. He's no good to me dead. And then Beggar's Canyon reference. And then, of course, the very end with the whole the boots, the spurs,
Oh, man.
Oh, I know. That's interesting to see what
Confession time. Raise your hand if you never noticed Boba Fett had spurs until The Mandalorian.
I knew about the noise, but I did not know that it was.
I don't know if I really ever noticed the noise for some reason.
If you watch,
maybe I will. Yeah.
Like put headphones on, like watch on your phone, just like the scenes he's in, you'll hear him. You're like, interesting. It's like the one where he walks up behind Vader. He has the ching, 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 and they don't address it in that episode. So I'm like, oh, interesting. So
because Cobb Vanth.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Hey, you got to rewatch this. You were gone, man. I don't think it's off the none of that stuff is off the table. You guys are you're thinking too much about it, that they're like, oh, we're gonna have to explain it to everybody and give his backstory. Nope. Yeah. And you're gonna have Malakili in there as well, if he's in there. I'm telling you right now. And I think that's where the Gamorrean Guard comes in. I think he lives in Freetown. You can check out my article on BeyondTheBlastDoors.com. I don't know if I talked about that exactly, but we were talking that day, and I was putting it all together. I was like, it all fits together now. It's Cobb Vanth, because he took in some of the refugees from Jabba's palace, the people who were like basically slaves and stuff. It was like, this is amazing.
You're cool.
I cracked it.
The genius gets me kind of randy when I listen to Jerry talk canon. Chapter 6, Mayfield, the fact that he was an Imperial, here we go, an Imperial sharpshooter.
That one was fake.
That was fake, yeah. But I love the idea that
food in here.
There are good shots in the Empire, and he made it very clear, like, no, I'm not like the stormtroopers. That was great. You know,
yeah, it was like I was one of the I was of the what do they call that? Sharpshooter. Yeah, an Imperial sharpshooter.
And a great line that Bill Burr had, which it's crazy to think Bill Burr's in a Star Wars. And I love that they were like, we had to get actors in this that you know, but you're not familiar with them in the Star Wars universe. And Bill Burr was one of the ones that John Favreau thought of. I'm like, that's amazing. He's gone on shows like Joe Rogan and like talked about how much he hates Star Wars fans.
That's part of his act. You know, I think you were telling me or whatever. Yeah, he's like,
I love it. They're stupid. Like I love that. And he goes up to the Razor Crest and he says, "Man, this thing's older than a Cancer Bite slot machine." I'm like, oh,
it's making all these references. It's like,
I know. TLJ, baby. I thought that was great. Yeah, then he makes a Gungan reference later. And how he's like, you know, makes a talking joke. I forget what he does. It's like what is he? It's a great.
I forget. It's a we said no taco. I don't know. It's something like that.
It's so awesome. And
we said no get paid.
Yes. And
something
then they get to the ship and there's an Ardinian in jail, and it looks, dude, it doesn't look CG. It looks like a puppet Ardinian. It looks crazy.
Really? It looks CG to me, but that's just, I mean, it looks like Rio.
It does
or not. It doesn't look exactly. It's like that was so cool because I was like, I
know.
I love that stuff. More of that. More.
It's the stuff that we got that was super subtle, like the fact that there's New Republic droids. That was sick. You know, security droids. I love that the guy Davin, I believe his name, or Davin, I don't know, but Matt Lantner played him, and the fact that he had all Alderaanian like classic and New Hope clothing on was so good.
It was cool.
So good. Stuff like that, man. I love that. I can eat that up. And like the mouse droid was like the same exact noise from New Hope. They did the same cadence. And then he boom, shoots it. So good. And I don't know. This episode had a bunch of really good ones. The fact that like the same exact rifle that Boba Fett uses is being used by what's his name? What's the droid's name of that episode, Jerry?
Oh, I can't remember.
Dang it. It'll hit me later. But of course,
we watched that episode recently too.
Yeah, you did. Well, it's not like Ghost. It's a cool name. But the fact that we get a cameo from all the directors, or I guess the big three directors, you know, giving you Deborah Chow. And Dave. And Dave's like, yeah, we gotta look. The line. What was the exact line? It's like, look uninterested. And I'm like, that's amazing.
Look uninterested. Yeah, I can't do it.
And the fact that they weren't gonna do it and they did it is so amazing.
It's great. Zero is the name of that droid.
Cool name. Thank you for.
I'm gonna keep IMDb open.
Good, as you should. That should be the life.
Proud sponsor of, I'm sure someone, not us though.
Well, yeah, probably. I don't know actually. Would they sponsor? So, Alex Damon pointed this out. I didn't notice this. Star Wars Explained pointed this out on his show. Was the fact that in the concept art, it's a T-70 X-wing instead of the old Republic, or I guess the Rebellion X-wings, which is very interesting. It's not in the show, obviously, but I like that. And then I almost would count chapters 7 and 8 as the same episode just because of how connected they are. And
I would say so too.
Yeah, like Baby Yoda doing the Force heal before the Rise of Skywalker.
That was
so badass. Oh,
that is a moment, because when it happened in Rise of Skywalker, it's like, whoa, hold on.
They planned that in a weird way.
Yeah, this is all connected. It's all connected.
Yes. The fact that when you watch The Rise of Skywalker, you think, oh, that's something Rey must have learned. But it's also kind of beautiful to think that Baby Yoda, didn't have to learn that. And he's been trying to do it since chapter 2. He's been trying to heal him. Oh, it's
He's
so
trying to help him. He's like, I had you this whole time. And anyway.
So good.
Gosh, it's great.
And the fact that he exerts himself and passes out too is even cooler because it makes sense. He heals.
That's amazing. I love that he passes out. Oh, so cool.
He exerts too
More
much
babies should pass out in mainstream media.
My favorite line from the gallery, you'll love this too. He goes, John Favreau's like, yeah, we even got the Death Troopers from Rogue. And then he's like, well, what? The Rogue one. And I'm like, that's so awesome. You know he just doesn't remember that kind of stuff. We got it from Rogue.
And he's just, I think he probably, to me, I was like, that's just like, that I'm a filmmaker and like we have our slang words for like, we call that one Rogue. And this one's Mando. And it says, I'm going to use one word to describe everything, rise. Then you've got to like, if you're not talking about Star Wars, it's like, I got to like specify of the Planet of the Apes, of Skywalker.
Nerds.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds. I don't remember.
Rise of the...
Another great Easter egg was the Trooper transport. That it was the old Kenner toy, and that like
it was. But I immediately went back to Rebels. I was like, you guys didn't start that. Rebels started that, man.
Yes. Like, oh, it's so good. And like, I love that Moff Gideon had so much knowledge on them too, and the fact that his tie folded inward. I was like, that's sick. That's new.
Yeah.
How are they gonna like? I want to see that in the sequels now. That should have been used somehow in the sequels.
Well, it's like usually when you see on Rebels, you would see them. They're just like sitting on the ground, like way up and stuff. My theory, my headcanon is they can all land like that. Either it's a new design or they can all land like that when there's not like a ladder to get out and stuff, like, because you see on Rebels and stuff, they're using like those things that they use at Home Depot to get the bucket of paint off the top shelf for you. They push one of those up there and they're climbing down off of that. So yeah, that's my theory. So
you're very smart, and he's the can junkie, guys. Well, I love that.
You fit more of them when their wings are, upright. Yeah. So
yeah, you could.
Also, they hang from the ceiling. They're versatile.
They're like a good pair of shoes. I love that.
Great pair of penny loafers for all of us. Yeah,
I can do a lot of these shoes. I love that there's a blaster joke, an aim joke, and like it's probably one of the ones that sit with me the best. It was like, it's so Taika, and I'm hoping for stuff like that in the movie he makes. It's just so subtle. It's so good. It's so good. It's amazing. And then what's up, Jared?
Well, I was going to say, I absolutely love did Taika do both of the last ones?
You know what? I think the aiming one was actually Deborah Chow, now that I think about it. Maybe? I don't remember. No, I think Taika introduced the Scout Troopers. I think I'm wrong.
Oh, I mean, the Scout Troopers are there when they get to the city, because half of that
but those particular Scout Troopers were definitely the ones in Taika's episode, because I remember watching it at my house. Me and John.
Well, those were the guys, because they were like, they radio them, remember, and like, go get the child and stuff, and then they like, vroom. But I love that they're just like leaning up against the thing and stuff, like at the gate. Oh, it's so good.
It's amazing. But yeah, like the E-Web heavy repeating blaster. I love that,
Oh, they make those things like scary. They made a lot of things scary in this. So they're like I said, we're going to take the toys that your brother left over and or the stuff that everyone loves. And it's like, we're going to make it scary.
So sick. I love stuff like that, man. And then the last episode gave us some really good ones. Just to kind of go through them. The Siege of Landlore is mentioned like verbatim is so awesome, because we didn't know it then, and now we know it now, and we got to get more context probably soon.
Got to get context on the Night of 1,000 Tears too.
Yes, we don't know what that is.
I think comes after Rebels.
So
I think that's why they're scattered. Because remember, they leave the Darksaber, and we're gonna get more information on that this season coming up. Because I'm pretty sure Bo-Katan's in it, and she was the last one holding the sword. Spoilers for Rebels, remember? So she was in charge of those clans.
She held it up.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, think about that.
Think about Din Djarin being in the back of that too, in the back of that group.
Oh, Jerry, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
And that
it's all connected. It's all connected. Their government's putting fluoride in the water to make sure you're healthy.
Yes.
You don't have to go to the dentist. You gotta go to your dentist to check for listening devices.
Well, the thing is, I usually go to Taco Bell and get a BAHOO Blast, but recently they've been making a fluoride-free version called BAHOO Blast.
I only trust the BAHOO Blast. Only the elites drink BAHOO Blast. They're laughing at you while you're drinking it. You're a sheep, and they're coming for you. You're BAHOO. I only drink BAHOO.
Bad. Okay, so I love that the Mandalorian is mentioned specifically. It is a creed and not a race. I'm like, yes, that's what we needed. Because I picture Baby Yoda next season in Mandalorian gear. That's just me.
Oh, man.
Dude, that
adorable.
Would literally
happen.
Oh, it's going to happen now. Speak into existence. The best one, Jerry, you're the one that pointed this out. Death Watch being the crew that saved him. But not only is it Death Watch, they have the same exact blaster bolts.
Blaster bolts.
And sound. How did you pick that up? That was insane. Because you texted me that night. You're like, well, actually.
Because I had to look up the symbol again because I was like, I recognize the symbol. Is that Death Watch? It's like I think it's Clan Vizsla's like crest or whatever, but they use it for Death Watch. Okay. And that something that got on my nerves about Clone Wars. If you watch, I'm gonna ruin it. I'm gonna break the fourth wall for you guys. There are episodes. There is an unwritten rule of nature of the. This is the law of physics, the law of blaster bolts. This is written into the very DNA of the show, Clone Wars.
Look right here.
The good guys have blue blaster bolts. The bad guys have red blaster bolts. Yeah. There's literally an episode. It's the episode where like Maul and Savage are back and they're like turning the pirates and things. The pirates that come to attack before like the Jedi get there, the pirates that turned against Hondo have red blaster bolts. And this is how nerdy I am. And Hondo and the rest of the pirates have blue blaster bolts.
Oh.
And it changes.
Yes.
It's so ridiculous that I noticed this and I'm a little like at first I was like, you have to like make sure that the bad guys have the blue and the red. Like I know what you're doing. But the one thing they did do, it's the second season, was they gave the Death Watch yellow blaster bolts. And that
medium.
It was just like, hey, it's a cool blaster bolt thing. Like, let's just give them these cool, whatever, it's a Mandalorian blaster, whatever. Yeah. But I love that they put that's the attention to detail. They're like, no, it has to make sense with everything. It does.
I love that. But
which the blaster bolts switching back and forth do not.
No.
I'm just kidding because you can change your blaster pack and have blue to go from blue to red. That happens in Last Jedi. If you notice when they get to Crate, they recharge the Resistance has blue blaster bolts.
No.
They get to Crate and they use the supplies there. And when they're firing from the trench, they have classic Rebellion red blaster bolts. And it's because they change their packs and stuff. You don't see it happen, but it's like that's bad.
I did not know that. Jerry.
That's all Pablo.
Well, bow before Gerald Cannell junkled.
I have no life. I recognize the color of blaster bolts. I'm a nerd.
He is Moff Gideon of the Bombadcast because Moff Gideon made it very clear that he knew a lot of stuff on these people.
I do. I forget their names every now and then. So
he works for the ISB, and I never thought about that being mentioned in live action. Like he's the investigation bureau. Like he knows these people, like back and forth.
Callus was ISB.
Yes. Yep.
And so was he was
Wolf.
Wolf Yularen. He was like the J. Edgar Hoover of all that.
Yes. So sick.
Yeah.
God, we are nerdy. Jesus. Anyone listening to this, like, thank you. Like,
If you're listening, you're just as nerdy as we are, or you're interested by our nerdiness, and you're welcome.
you want to be more nerdy, this is the place to go. The Flame Trooper, amazing reference. That like blew me away because it was written in. They're like, well, wait, we've got something for that. Let's use it. I'm like, that's what.
I immediately went back to Force Unleashed when that thing came out. I was like, wait, what? That's like a video game thing. What?
Sick. That's what I like about this show. It's not afraid to do that. Like you said, The Rise of Skywalker could have easily called that thing a holocron, but they're like, no, let's call it a wayfinder. So like,
you gotta trust that you're writing it well enough. You know, you don't have to explain everything to people. Just call it. You don't have to explain why it's a holocron or whatever. But
wayfinder to literally find the way. It's like literally Avatar with a non-obtainium. What the hell it's called? Like unobtainable.
Unobtainium.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
So goofy. But I love that. I didn't think about this. When Baby Yoda stopped the fire from the Flame Trooper, literally Kanan Jarrus. And I did not click until today. I'm like, whoa, that's great.
Like that. That's still a crazy scene, man.
Yeah, it's so good. That actually made me.
It looks a little like Backdraft. It's almost humorous at first because it's like he's like they almost should be playing like a like you see like a 90s like action movie or something with like a guitar riff being played. Yeah. Oh, see that little dude? All about the flames, dude.
Bro.
Yeah.
Who?
Bahoo.
Bro. So the last three ones, the last three I think are very important. The fact that they show the Mandalorian helmets, which I think was interesting because she's starting to melt. The armor is melting all the Beskar, which is really. Love these yawns. The armor is melting all the old Beskar left over by the Mandalorians, which I think is very interesting. And I love that they call him. No, not him. They call the leader Mandalore the Great. I'm like, oh, so whoever like started the Mandalorian Jedi battle was that Mandalore the Great. He never had a name like that before. It's pretty cool. It's pretty sick, bro.
Was that a person too? I just thought that was like a reference to maybe this is like the.
No, I think that was the one that infiltrated the Jedi Order and made the Darksaber. I think that was Mandalore the Great.
No, that was that. I think that was after that. That was.
Oh no! Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Tar Vizsla.
Yes, Mandalore the Great.
Come on.
Sorry, damn.
Right.
Jeez.
Get it right. You can make no mistakes.
The Gondola R2 droid.
Oh, and that reminds me of L3 a little bit.
Yeah, kind of hodgepodge.
Yeah, it's funny because it looks a little it's almost Men in Blacky a little bit, you know. But I kind of dig it. It's kind of neat.
Too. The lava, I just think it's so badass.
And just like that's one part that I think is a little clunky is when she like shoots its head off and stuff instead of telling us like just. But it's okay. I'll let it slide.
Well, one thing, the last one, the biggest one, Jerry, the one that'll probably have a lot of more action in season 2, the one that no one expected, which is what, Jerry?
The one at which, when we saw it pop through the hull of that TIE fighter, we all simultaneously crapped our pants.
Yes. What was it?
The Darksaber. Like as a collective, our brains exploded and leaked out of our ears onto our couches. Oh. That was like, what? What? No. He's got the Darksaber.
I was involved with that episode. You know, he was Tar Vizsla or Pre-Vizsla. So like, it's so good. And one thing I want to bring up too, because this really is totally like, this is so BAHOO Blast. Like seriously, Troy's dad and I were talking about it, and he's like, "Man, I didn't understand that weird knockoff lightsaber that dude had at the end of it." And I'm like, "Yeah, because you haven't seen Clone, like you don't know what that means."
Dad, you say?
Troy's dad, my Uncle Ricky, was like, what is that knockoff lightsaber at the end
Like
of the
a
show?
Dollar General lightsaber?
He legitimately thought it was like it really is not made by. You say it again, I'm sorry.
Space Knight sword. It's like it's usually called like Space Knight.
He thought
Space
it was so
lightsaber.
Space lightsaber, bro.
Bruh.
I thought because we know what it means. Jerry, to close out this discussion so we can go to bed, what do you think is in store for the next season? Is there anything in particular you think we're going to get in terms of Easter eggs that we're just not expecting?
I'm trying to think beside the thing that we were just talking about. You can go read my article on beyondtheblastdoors.com. I'm just saying when we share that a little bit. But
and point upward. Show them your left hand and point upward, Jerry. Oh, that's not your left hand. Right? Yeah, there you go. There's Jerry. Boop. Right there. Boop. Boop. Boop.
Anyway, so I wrote an article, and in it basically, people like making fun of, and Salacious Crumb is going to be in Mandalorian season 2, making fun of all the characters. I think that all of those characters are going to fit in better than people think.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to feel forced. I think, again, as we've seen the Siege of Mandalore, they're all closely tied to Mandalore's past and where the Mandalorians are currently in the Mandalorian.
Sure.
But I just really am going to bang the drum. I think we're getting Cobb Vanth in Freetown. That's going to be my prediction, is Cobb Vanth in Freetown from the Aftermath novels. It's like a trilogy of the Aftermath trilogy. It has all of the interludes. Cobb Vanth has an interlude in each book until they get longer in each book. The last one, it's basically him taking in Malakili or there's one for Malakili and he gets taken in, and then there's one where they're defending Freetown or whatever, which is their town. I guess he used to be a slave, and now he's gonna he took Boba Fett's armor, and he's like, no, I'm essentially a Wild West sheriff out here now. I'm not gonna let anyone else get to. It's kind of a cool concept when you think about it.
I like that.
I think it would be amazing to have Mando go visit them, especially if he took in Finnick or whatever, so it could be that. Maybe that's actually Boba Fett taking in Finnick, and maybe they're maybe it's like a misdirect, but we're still going to see. We're still going to see.
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth, and again, I think we're going to see. I think Malakili is going to come into play. I think that the Gamorrean Guard, that Maquette, that is coming into play in whatever episode or episodes those are in.
Yeah. Well, I love
it's like going back to Tatooine, but I think we're going to go back for an episode at least.
Well, it's cool because I think the show is self-referential now. It's got enough pull to make references to itself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like we're gonna get the same the episode The Prisoner, where you had all, you had the Twi'lek and you had, Mayfield, you had the Devaronian. I think we're gonna get them showing back up again. It's
maybe
weird
maybe not in the second season, but I don't know.
maybe it's kind of cool because Mando kind of makes some enemies throughout this whole process, and it's be cool maybe to see them tag up. And one thing, man. I think I'm sold on the idea that Baby Yoda is going to find his people, and we're going to see a bunch of people of Yoda's species in this next season. Maybe the last or the second to last.
Do you think it's the next season, or do you think they're going to stretch it out a little longer?
I think they're going to. I don't think he's going to leave with them. I think Amanda's going to meet them and not trust them, and then he's going to take the child for himself.
Watch them be first episode, we're going to the planet that Yoda's from.
They found it that quick.
I'm still saying his species is going to be. They're going to call them Minch. The Minches.
Yeah.
Minch Yoda.
it's the references like that I think they're going to play into, and we may even get, and they kept saying in the EW articles that like this is the first sight of the First Order in terms of like this is how the First Order was formed. Do you remember that? So maybe we're going
to get a little bit more information, and that's what I'm excited to see. And I'm tempering my expectations. I don't know if we're going to get a ton of Gideon, but I hope we get more of him than just like the last part of an episode in the last episode.
Like imagine like seeing a dirty Star Destroyer, or like just like the people in like not good looking uniforms, like everything looks a little ruggedy, like it would
be Ray Sloan, maybe.
Yes, dude. Oh my God. So much can happen. And I honestly think so much will happen. And I think we'll probably have about 10 Easter eggs an episode, like we kind of have here. So maybe more.
Man. Hey, and I know. Well, if we don't get Ray Sloan in the next season of Mandalorian, we'll at least be getting her in the Squadrons game coming out this fall.
Yeah, brother.
Yes. My wallet is already begging me. Please, no more. No more.
Oh man, it's gonna be great. But Jerry, this was a fun one. Hopefully, everyone listening had a time. And
a good time.
Knows what they should do. You gotta subscribe. There's a subscribe button below.
You gotta subscribe.
Got to. You also gotta like it. You gotta click the like, thumbs that baby up. You gotta share with it. If you got friends that don't know any Easter eggs in the Mandalorian, they want to hear two hyper nerds talk about it, send it to them. Share it to them.
And if you also enjoy jokes just repeated, like into like ham-fisted, into oblivion. Yeah. Ham-fisted into oblivion. That's a good band name.
That is sick. Or just fisted into a never mind. Nope.
You went a little too far with that one. I saw you. You're right there. You stepped right over the line. You came right back a little. You were almost there. You almost stepped off the cliff, but you came right back.
Yeah. So, don't fist me, Jerry. Don't fist me over it. Be sure to give us 5 stars on iTunes and review us on if you like this.
You might have to do some reviews pretty soon, man. We might have to read some of those reviews.
Do that. Oh, Jerry, you're so smart and handsome and cute. I want to kiss you. And if you really like this, if you really want to see a picture of Jerry and I kissing, which I'll make happen. I'll do some yawn it out. Just get a stretch, get a yawn. Make sure you support us on Patreonius. On Monday. On Monday. So do that. You can see a picture of Jerry kissing me on Patreon.
Keep talking. They're going to be really upset when they get there and find out that it's just all pictures of us kissing. So
no exclusive content, just really weird softcore porn. I'm just kidding.
Couple of guys with Jar Jar tongue suckers. Just like,
oh man, stay bombad. So yeah, please keep with us online. Keep up with us online at btbd.com, beyondtheblasters.com.
Go check out that article.
Follow us on Twitter, and you can leave us a phone call if you want to just talk to us. 331 Beyond.
We're thinking about just doing like a call-in show, right? Those shows from the 90s where people would call in and tell radio hosts their problems.
We're like, hey, what's going on? Oh, cool, sick.
You're talking to the Gungan Goons.
There we go.
Yeah.
The BAHOO Boons. Jerry, what are we doing? What should we do?
I think we should end the episode, honestly. I think they've suffered enough.
BAHOO Boomers.
That's enough of the BAHOO, okay? What should we do? Have you already asked me? Were you setting me up?
Jerry.
Set up the softball, Scotty.
Jerry, what should they do?
Well, Scotty, they should stay BAHOO. Stay BAHOO, everybody.
or Bombadcast.